What if one of the most disturbing royal scandals wasn't a scandal at all, but a medical crisis that the public refused to leave alone? 2 years ago, as Catherine, Princess of Wales, disappeared from public view during a serious health ordeal, conspiracy theories exploded across the internet. Rumors spread faster than facts. Speculation became entertainment, and millions of people felt entitled to answers about a woman's private medical condition. But here's the uncomfortable question. Did anyone actually have the right to know? Welcome back. Today, we're looking at a controversial discussion that's resurfacing around Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the media frenzy that surrounded her illness. A recent interview promoting a new book about Catherine reignited debates over palace secrecy, public transparency, and whether the royal family handled the situation correctly. But beyond the headlines lies a much bigger issue. Where exactly is the line between public interest and personal privacy? And when does curiosity become something far more troubling? Let's get into it. The "Where is Kate?" frenzy. Few royal stories in recent memory generated as much speculation as Catherine's disappearance from public life in early 2024. At first, many people assumed it was routine. After all, the palace had announced that Catherine was recovering from abdominal surgery and would be stepping away from public duties for a period of time. But as weeks passed, online speculation intensified. Social media users began creating theories. Commentators produced endless videos. Every photograph became evidence. Every palace statement became a clue. What started as curiosity gradually transformed into something much darker. Instead of respecting a recovering patient's privacy, large portions of the internet turned her absence into a global guessing game. And somewhere along the way, people stopped asking whether they should speculate and focused only on whether they could. The human being behind the headlines. It's easy to forget that royal figures are still people. Behind every headline was a woman facing a serious health challenge. A mother, a wife, a daughter. Someone dealing with uncertainty while trying to protect her family. Imagine going through one of the most difficult medical periods of your life while millions of strangers demand updates every day. Imagine your children seeing rumors about their mother online. Imagine recovering while your every movement becomes international news. That was the reality Catherine faced. And regardless of where someone stands politically or culturally, it's difficult to argue that anyone deserves that level of intrusion during a health crisis. Because illness isn't content, and medical recovery isn't public entertainment, when privacy becomes a commodity. One of the most alarming aspects of the story emerged when reports surfaced that hospital employees were being investigated for allegedly attempting to access Catherine's medical records. The allegations shocked many people, but they also highlighted a larger issue. This wasn't an isolated incident. Over the years, numerous public figures have reportedly had private medical information improperly accessed or leaked. Actors, musicians, athletes, political figures. The pattern is surprisingly common. Why? Because private information has value, and when someone becomes famous enough, even their medical records can become a commodity. The disturbing reality is that some people view confidential health information not as private data, but as something that can be monetized. That's where curiosity crosses into something much more serious. What does the law actually say? Many people assume that becoming famous means giving up your right to privacy. But legally, that's not how it works. In the United Kingdom, medical records are protected by strict confidentiality laws and data protection legislation. Healthcare professionals have legal obligations to safeguard patient information. The same principles are reinforced through broader privacy protections under human rights law. And here's the key point. Being famous does not automatically erase those protections. There is no special rule stating that public figures lose ownership of their medical privacy simply because the public wants answers. Whether someone is a school teacher, a movie star, a prime minister, or a future queen, medical information remains among the most protected categories of personal data. The law recognizes something that many online discussions often forget. Public interest is not the same thing as public curiosity. Curiosity vs. entitlement. Now let's be honest. Most people have been curious about public figures at some point. That's human nature. When someone disappears from public life unexpectedly, questions naturally arise. Curiosity itself isn't the problem. The problem begins when curiosity transforms into entitlement. There's a massive difference between wondering what happened and believing you're owed an explanation. One is natural. The other assumes ownership over someone else's life. And that's where many observers believe the conversation surrounding Catherine crossed a line. Because countless people weren't simply wondering how she was doing. They were demanding access to information that was never theirs to begin with. The palace's impossible position. The royal household faced a difficult challenge. If they revealed too little information, critics accused them of secrecy. If they revealed too much information, they would be exposing deeply personal medical details. It was a no-win situation. Every decision was criticized. Every statement was dissected. Every attempt at privacy became evidence of wrongdoing in the eyes of some commentators. But consider the alternative. What if the palace had released every medical update? Every consultation? Every diagnosis? Every treatment plan? Would that have been responsible? Or would it have represented a profound violation of Catherine's dignity? Sometimes protecting someone's privacy isn't evidence of a cover-up. Sometimes it's simply the right thing to do. A broader cultural problem. What happened during the "Where is Kate?" phenomenon says something important about modern culture. We're living in an era where people increasingly feel entitled to constant access. Social media has blurred the line between public and private life. The more information people receive, the more information they expect. And eventually, privacy itself begins to feel suspicious. But privacy isn't suspicious. It's normal. It's healthy. And it's something every human being deserves. The fact that someone appears on television, attends public events, or belongs to a famous family doesn't eliminate that fundamental right. If anything, it makes protecting that right even more important. The lesson we should learn. Looking back, the biggest lesson from this entire episode is surprisingly simple. Not every question needs an answer. Not every mystery needs solving. And not every private struggle belongs in the public domain. There will always be curiosity surrounding public figures. That's inevitable. But there must also be boundaries. Because without boundaries, we stop treating people like human beings and start treating them like products. And that's a dangerous path for any society to take. At the end of the day, Catherine's health journey was never a royal mystery. It was a personal medical matter involving a woman and her family. The real question isn't whether the public deserved more information. It's whether we've become too comfortable demanding access to things that were never ours to begin with. What do you think? Did the palace handle Catherine's health crisis appropriately, or should more information have been shared with the public? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more royal news and analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.